So my name is Fatin Judeh, and I am Palestinian. My family is from occupied West Bank. I was born in Puerto Rico. Sumud. In Arabic, it is often translated as steadfastness. But to me, Sumud is not a static state. It is continuing after displacement, continuing after devastating loss, continuing after the world tells you your grief is too much, your story is too complicated, your people are too disposable. And disposable is the word for how Palestinians are treated. But our people are not disposable. Palestinians are killed constantly in Gaza, in Jerusalem, in occupied Palestine. Israel has normalized that so completely that even the killing of over 20,000 children does not stop the world. Even mass death does not stop the world. And still Palestinians continue. This is Sumud. Through Humanity's work with journalists in Gaza, I've come to understand Sumud as movement, continuity under impossible conditions. The doctor, Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, who returns to the hospital after his son was killed. The mother who feeds another child after losing her own and in some cases all her children. The teacher who holds class in a tent or in the rubble of former schools. Sumud is continuing when every system around you is built to make continuation impossible. They say this did not begin on October 7th. They say Gaza is part of a much longer history. Before 1938, through Nakba, through siege, through occupation, and now genocide. And for Palestinians, that history is not abstract, it's family history. My own great-grandfather, in 1936, he marched to Jerusalem, and he was killed on that march. He never came back. They never found his body. And I think part of why, what's happening in Gaza is so personal to me and to my family is because I understand, even in some small inherited way, what it means to never get to grieve properly, to never say goodbye, to never get the chance to bury someone you love, to not know where they are, to carry absence across generations. And that is another continuity Palestinians understand deeply. It is not only death, but unresolved death, bodies beneath the rubble, bodies disappeared, bodies taken, families waiting without any answers, grief without closure. That is why continuity is not only historical, it is material, it lives in your body. It's memory. In the inheritance of barbaric violence from one generation to the next, continuity is a grandmother in Gaza carrying memories of expulsion while watching her children be displaced again, and again. Continuity is a child becoming orphaned by the same structures that orphaned generations before them. Continuity is entire family lines killed, still underneath rubble. Continuity is doctors in Gaza. They came up with an acronym called WCNSF. Wounded child, no surviving family. Not one child, it's a category. That's how common it is. Continuity is famine after siege, mass graves after displacement, children writing their names on their arms. We should never forget, every single person in this room should never forget that children wrote their names on their arms. So that if there's an airstrike at night, that their bodies can be identified. Can you imagine? I want you to put yourself in position of that mother and that father. Their child writing their name on their arm. These are the things we cannot forget. Sumud is not Palestinians enduring suffering endlessly. It is Palestinians insisting on life, on dignity, on memory, on history and humanity, while living through systems organized around their complete barbaric erasure. And what has unfolded in Gaza over the last 2 years has forced the world to confront the most horrifying edge of that reality, that not only mass death, but the method of death, the intimacy of it, the systematic destruction of all conditions that make life possible. This is what genocide looks like. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have been killed and murdered. I'm going to repeat that. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have been killed and murdered. They were murdered, wounded. Especially when you consider all the missing, you consider the infection, you consider all those buried underneath rubble, the mass graves, all those in Israeli torture camps. This means that Gaza is not only grieving the dead, it is trying to keep alive the wounded, and it's still under siege, even during a ceasefire. We need to consider the amputated, the burned, the children with no surviving family, the pregnant woman giving birth without proper care, the patients dying because medicine, electricity, oxygen, and dialysis and anesthesia were taken away. Roughly 3 to 4% of Gaza's population has been killed. More than 10% has been killed or wounded. Every person in Gaza knows someone who has been killed. Thousands of children have lost limbs, many without anesthesia. Tens of thousands have been orphaned. Entire families erased. These are families, they're bloodlines. I want you to consider something. Just consider the thousands of families that you're talking about, complete deleted bloodlines. This is what this world has normalized. And we have to name this. We have to name everything we've seen. The fact that we've had doctor after doctor after doctor testify, describing patterns of children being shot in the head and chest, not accidents, children arriving with sniper wounds to the skull, to the heart, to places that are intentionally meant to end life. Because even childhood itself becomes a target, because the Zionist goal is complete elimination, which requires the erasure of future generations. I want you to think about this, that there's nothing normal about children writing their names on their arms. There's nothing normal about famine, about the death traps. Do you all remember the manufactured death traps? There's nothing normal about that. There's nothing normal about starving a bunch of people and making them crawl for flour and killing them and burying them alive. Thousands. There's nothing normal about the fact that Palestinians were forced to ground date pits into powder to imitate coffee. That's not normal. It's not normal that they were surviving on animal feed. It's not normal that mothers would grind lentil beans, lentil beans, so their babies they could replicate to milk, some sort of sustenance. It's not normal. It's not normal that children, often when they're interviewed, they say, if the bombs don't kill us, then forced starvation will, hunger will. That is not normal. It's not normal that right now over 90% are still living in tents. That rats move through overcrowded camps. That's not normal. It's not normal that grave sites have been destroyed, cemeteries destroyed. That is not normal. Bodies have been exhumed. Violence extends beyond life itself, through the destruction of the hospitals, the universities, the schools, all of it, everything. It's all systematic. It's not normal. It is not normal that we've seen video after video. I will never, until the day I die, forget the videos of the death traps ever, that they were crushed while crawling. That is not normal, that people knew that they would bulldoze them alive, that they would crush them alive. That is not normal. It's not normal that we've seen Palestinians evaporate, completely disappear. We've seen Palestinians burned alive. We've seen Palestinians be killed in every way conceivable. I always say this. You know what Palestinians tell me in Gaza? They say, we feel that Palestinians have been created for death. We cannot confuse Palestinian continuation with the permission for the world to normalize what they are enduring. We cannot turn their survival into an excuse for our own inaction. They were doctors, journalists, rescue workers, teachers, students. It's not normal that we've seen video after video, picture after picture of families searching through fragments, scar, teeth, cloth. Have you guys seen that? Clothes, pair of jeans, an ID card. That's not normal. It's not normal that we've seen parents carrying fragments of their children, siblings putting pieces of flesh in their backpack. And you're probably asking me, why is she going on and on? We know. You know why? Because we cannot have this event. We cannot speak about the concept of Sumud if we don't name these things. It may be uncomfortable, but we need to name them. This is not like this. It's not a festive event. When we talk about Sumud, so you can understand the concept of Sumud, you need to ask yourself, what, in the midst of what are they continuing and being steadfast? I will say, but what's beautiful about my people is that I can tell you what they do continue. We've seen Palestinians have weddings in rubble. Have you seen that? It's very beautiful. So many weddings during the ceasefire. We've seen children dancing. We've seen children singing. We've seen artists painting on tent walls. We've seen teachers holding lessons, mothers baking bread, families sharing what little food remains. We've seen all that, right? And because of that continuation, we have a responsibility, okay? Because when you think about the journalists, over 270 have been killed, okay? And they are not just documenting genocide, they're leaving evidence of what was done to them, evidence that they were here. And it is our responsibility to carry that testimony carefully, to refuse normalization, to refuse euphemisms. And that means that we do more to share. We did an exhibit, I know that PYM, they did an incredible architecture of genocide exhibit. Please go sit with that, see the before and after, it is devastating. We're featuring the work, its testimony of 4 journalists. Please sit with that. Tag these journalists because you have no idea how much that means to them. I will end with this, and that is that every story told is the failure of the silencing. And maybe that's kind of where I want to end, right? Not only with death, but with what continues. The people of Gaza are not waiting to be rescued. They are teaching the world what it means to remain and what it means to continue under the most barbaric circumstances that are engineered. They're engineered because the intent of all those systems is to annihilate Palestinians, and that is Sumud. Thank you.